Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how I make homemade hamburger buns. And the ingredients we're going to need are 3½ cups of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, 2 tablespoons of dry powdered milk, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons or 1/2 stick of melted butter, 1 egg, and 1 cup of warm, about 110-degree water. So to get started, we are going to bring our bowl over, and I'm simply going to add in the water and the butter. The 1/4 cup of sugar, and the 1 tablespoon of yeast. And I'm going to stir these. At this point, I'm going to add the 1 egg in. And you just want to beat that up and mix it in until it's well incorporated. At this point, I'm going to add in 1 cup of my flour and stir it in. And I'm not worried about any lumps and bumps right now because this is all going to get worked out once I put it over on the machine. I just want to get it started so that I can add in the powdered milk and the salt. And again, you don't have to do this by machine. You could do this by hand if you wanted to. I just find it much simpler to do on my stand mixer. Alright, I'm going to add in 2 more cups of flour. Or about that. And then I'm going to dump in my salt and the powdered milk. And I'll start stirring this together. Once this becomes too difficult to mix by hand, I will move it over to the stand mixer and let it finish doing all the heavy work for me. You want to make sure you get all the flour, the dried flour, off of the bottom and get it incorporated in with your wet ingredients. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add in almost all of this. I'm going to reserve probably about a 1/4 cup to add in if I need it once it's been mixing on the machine. But at this point, I'm going to transfer it there and let it start doing the mixing for me. Alright guys, at this point, the dough is ready to start going into its kneading cycle. And if you touch it, it should still feel a little tacky, but your fingers should come away clean, which it does. It's pulled away from the side of the bowl. I've added all 3½ cups of the flour. And I'm just going to turn my machine on now and let it knead for 5 minutes. Alright guys, the bread has kneaded for 5 minutes on the machine. And now I just like to do a last little hand knead on it, just to make sure everything is well incorporated and the dough is as smooth as I want it to be. And I do believe it is at that point that I want it. It's nice and smooth. A little bit tackier than my normal bread doughs, but that's just the nature of this recipe. So don't be worried about it, and try not to add any extra flour to your board, even if it sticks a little bit, just because it will make a tougher hamburger bun in the end if you keep adding more flour than what it really needs. So, alright, I'm just going to kind of shape this into a ball. Bring the bottom pieces up and pinch it closed. And what we're looking for at this point is just a dough that's soft, smooth, and springs back when we touch it, which is what this does. I am going to transfer this into an oiled bowl that I've sprayed with olive oil, and I'm just going to spray the top of it with the same olive oil spray that I use. And I'm going to cover it with saran wrap and put it into my oven for an hour to rise. And the way I do it is I just put my oven on the lowest setting that it goes to, which is about 170 degrees. And then I shut the oven off and turn the light on. And it makes a perfect proofing box. I'm also going to cover this, and make sure you cover this loosely, just in case it rises up to the top of your bowl. And it'll have somewhere to keep pushing to. And then I'm also going to cover this with a clean tea towel and let it rise for an hour. So I will see you guys when it's done doing that. Alright guys, I removed the bread from the oven, and as you can see, the dough has doubled in size. And I'm just going to put it out on my breadboard, and we're going to roll it out and kind of deflate it. I try not to like overwork the dough at this point, because we still want it to rise up again, but we do need to work it to where it's even, so we get even balls of dough that we're going to shape into our buns. Alright, so at this point I'm just going to roll it up into a log shape and bring it back here, and I'm going to pinch the ends closed and seal this end up and pinch it closed. And this is just going to ensure that our log is even all the way across. Now what we want is 8 balls of dough out of this. So I'm going to divide it in half, and then in half again, and just keep doing it this way until we have our 8 hopefully equal balls. There we go. And then I'm just going to take them and kind of flatten them out a little bit, and then shape them into a ball of dough and pull the bottom pieces up and pinch them so we have our nice ball. And then I'm going to put it down on my counter, and just with the palm of my hand I'm going to roll it and gently push on the palm of your hand, and that will help seal it and shape it into a nice little ball. And then I will transfer it over to my sheet pan that I'm going to be baking these in. I will show you one more time how I did that. I'm going to flatten it out a little, and then I'm going to start tucking it up underneath of itself until I have a ball shape. I'm going to pinch it, and then come in and pinch the bottom closed, and then with the palm of my hand I'm just going to apply a light pressure against the ball of dough as I'm rotating it around on the cutting, or on the breadboard, until it's a nice shape, and then I'll transfer it over here. While I'm getting the rest of these rolled out, I'd like to remind you guys of the Gamers and Geeks playlist that Death and I have going on our channels. It is a community-driven playlist, and if you guys would like to be a part of it, all you have to do is go out and make a cooking video, post it to your channel, and then let either JPIC or I know, either in the comment section of our latest cooking videos, or if you're a part of his Discord server, you can let us know over there as well. Alright guys, I've gotten them all rolled out and kind of corralled and eat their own little individual aluminum foil ring. And I will remove this about halfway through the baking period just to let these kind of brown up on the edges as well. But this will help prevent them from spreading all over your sheet and ending up with like a huge giant hamburger bun. This will keep them more compact and hamburger size. So at this point, all I'm going to do is cover it back up with my tea towel and put it back in the oven to rise for another hour. Alright guys, our hamburger buns have been rising for another hour, and I'm just going to very gently brush them with an egg wash, which is just one egg that I've beaten with about a teaspoon of cold water. And this is going to help them brown up evenly on top. And I'm going to add sesame seeds to the tops of these buns. And this will help them stick as well. You just want to be really careful when you're doing this that you don't press too hard and end up deflating your buns. Alright, I have brushed them all, and now I'm just going to gently sprinkle a few sesame seeds over across the top of these. And then I'm going to put them in a 350 degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes or until they are done. And you'll want to check those. And I'm going to remove these rings probably about halfway through the cooking time, just to allow the sides to brown up a little bit as well. Alright guys, I think that's just about going to do it. I'm going to get these in the oven and baked off, and I will see you when they are done. Alright guys, our hamburger buns are out of the oven. I've let them cool on the counter for about 10 minutes. And as you can tell, they are nice and golden brown. They are very pillowy and soft, which is exactly what you want your hamburger buns to be. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, why don't you leave me a comment down below. If you guys tried this recipe out, let me know how it turned out for you. Remember to check out the Gamers and Geeks playlist, as well as my Fallout cookbook and my Elder Scrolls cookbook playlist, and I will leave links down in the description to them. But for now, thank you for watching. I've been Vault Girl. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.